Hey folks, well, I've just wet this and I'm going to give it a bit of a tug. I had several of these clips and I've lost one, so I have to use that one. Alright, that'll do. Right, now we've changed from the cabin red to light red and yellow ochre. I'm using yellow ochre because I've got a full tube of it and I don't normally use on my main palette. I've still got my other palette. I've got several of these food display trays, very cheap, and I've got this old hake which seems to break up quite nicely, look, so we can get some texturing in. Now I'm still trying to, I just waiting for my computer to wake up here. I had it repaired last year. Hold on. I had it repaired because oops. Let's turn it on. I had it repaired because the fan wore out on it. It got very noisy, and it came back like a previous one. It lost the speed of startup in its startup, which is a bit of a nuisance. It just take a while. I just want to bring up the photo, one of the photos that I took on the Wandle. I did two paintings of it, well, one each of each photograph yesterday. And I'm quite pleased with them. You can see them on my photographs of them on my Facebook page, Dave Usher Artist, or you can see one of them on Ron Ransom Disciples Facebook page. It's been going several years now. It's been very popular for us hate painters. So if you've got any aspirations in that direction, go on it. Join. Started by a very early patron of mine, Matthew Clemens, and it's just grown big. We've got Andrew Bruce Hudd, who I'm sort of being inspired by to do these tone studies. I did a lot of tone studies last year, but I got bored with watercolours. I was preferring to do oil. Well, anyway, let's just get a sky in. Now I have to go on to. It took quite a while to. I had to email it to myself, the photo, but it took ages to get up. Right, well, let's have a bit of a nice sky. Let's add a bit of red to that. Autumn colours. Now the board is quite a shallow angle. It's a lovely day today. There's a tiny little shower, but that's gone. So let's have a bit of blue and a bit of that red. This all dries a lot lighter than when you put it on, so you have to make allowances for that. Let's get a bit of, that's a bit more like it. Okay, that'll do. That red will probably separate, but while that's doing, I'll get a smaller hake, get this one, and I just showed you, there's mine. I put that up the top so I'll know where it is. Right, so because we're doing wet in wet background, let's get some autumny colours in the background. Oh, so you can see a bit of blue, bit of red, bit of yellow. Oops, not that much. So let's just put in some of this autumny colours. That red with a bit of yellow should give us a bit of an autumn colour. Bit too much water there. I was thinking of using the cadmium yellow for this background, but I'll drop the blue in, the indigo, which is a very, very cold colour. Bit of red in there. So I'm making this up as I'm going along, knowing that this will all dry much, much lighter. Oops, one more rig up. Fell on the floor. Now I've done so many of these things that they are a bit passé, but I always enjoy doing this type of painting. Right, let's get in some. Pull out the loose hairs. Put a bit more red in there for autumny stuff. Have a bit of a stream going through there. This indigo, wonderful colour, very cold blue. It mixes very well. See, we've still got those autumn colours showing through, but a lot of this will be covered up with some trees in the front. Just keep adding, because while the paper's wet you can still more or less do anything with it. Let's try and scrape out some of this in there. Right, let's get a bit of heavy stuff in there, and the banks. Right, okay. Just showing the light and the edge of these trees. Okay. Hopefully this will all make sense when it starts to dry, or I dry it, and see what we can do here. not lifting out very well. Anyway, always put a little bit of gouache in. The paint fills in the groove, but we can get enough in here just to show. Not too much of this. Just a little bit of detail in the foreground. Okay, now I'm going to give that a dry now. So take your headphones off. Oh, let's just... that is. Looks like a bit of a scratch on the paper. Right, okay, now the fun begins. Stipple. So, red, when you do this, change the angle of the brush. Get some blue in there, or some darker colour. Now there might be enough water left in the paper to give a shadow colour. I want a bit of a dark, let's get a bit of red, a bit of the blue. Okay, we'll put some trunks in, some branches in that. Now we want some a bit of greeny colour. think a yellow would have been better. Bit of undergrowth. I'm pushing the brush. Alright, a bit of that yellow and red to brighten up the foreground. Alright, let's do a small amount on here. Take your trees off the page, otherwise it just looks as if you're filling in between two parameters. Stipple is a great thing that you do all with one brush, well, two, a hake, large and small hake. Okay, now what we need to do now is dry that off. And put a little bit of, maybe a bit of dry brush across here. That'll do. Right, my palette's a bit of a mess, isn't it? I'll find my indigo. I'll give that a bit of a clean, I think, because it's going to muck up my colours. I don't think I'll persevere with yellow ochre. I'll go back to cadmium yellow. A bit of water on the paper. Maybe tomorrow I have to go and get a few rolls of paper from Macro. They do quite those big ones. You get half a dozen for about £6 plus tax. And they last for ages. Right, indigo. Lovely stuff. I think I bought 2 or 3 tubes of that a while ago. Now, instead of using the rigger, let's see if we can. Oh, I dry that off, right? So, patience. Close your eyes. I mean your ears. And here we go. Okay, I think that ochre has had a bit of a deadening effect on this. It's not as bright as, yes, so anyway, they all look different. It's got a bit of dark. Touch of water on the hake, and it will. Let's just clip that paper. Nice and flat. And mixing, I've always found that mixing the Hake version of this with rigor, you get a different mark, and it shows. I'll do some in the back a little bit, but I'll do those with a much fainter colour. Wait. Now remember, branches tend to stay thick more or less to the end. Then you get breaking into all the twiglets. Like the oak tree we pass on our bike ride every Tuesday. Quite just a very gentle touch. At least I'm coming away from this one. Otherwise, everything's going to the same direction. So you've got to watch out for that. Okay. Right, okay, I don't think I want to do more than that. Let's get a lighter colour and do the background. Ooh. Probably wet. A bit wet there. Anyway, it's only an impression. And that covers up a multitude of sins. Well, where's my little brush? Just anchor those trees, otherwise they just seem to be floating. So we don't really want that. Right, okay. Dry the brush again. And get some yellowy stuff. If I'd used the cad yellow, I could have got a bit of green in there. Oh, okay, well let's clean that brush. Put it in a mount. Take the clips off. I'll lift up the camera. They always look better in a mount. Well, there we are. How's that? Let's give it a signature. No, I'm not going to put a bird in. It's a foggy there, so you probably wouldn't see a bird like that. There we are. That's it. I hope you like it. I'll get that uploaded for you. And of course, some new friends. Well, the wife is a friend for a couple of years, but husband, rather shy. Very nice person. Is an artist as well. They're coming down this afternoon. We'll have a nice long chat about painting. I've been looking forward to this. Right, okay, there we are. I'll see you soon, folks. Thanks for looking in. Bye bye.